Hello again. Although it is of course catastrophic for the country, I must confess to being hugely entertained by the antics of our government since the summer. I know that old people often think that the world is speeding up and changing at an unprecedented rate, but I think that there is a genuine change of pace lately in how long secretaries of state manage to stay in office. The record must surely belong, of course, to Michelle Donnellan. The puzzled looks on the faces of viewers and the scratching of heads as they try and remember who Michelle Donnellan might be confirms what I suspected, that it's not just me who has trouble keeping up to speed with cabinet changes. Between the 5th and 7th of July this year, Donnellan was, for just under 48 hours, the Education Secretary. Mind, I don't blame anybody for not remembering her, because in the last 4 months we have had no fewer than 4 different education secretaries. Hand on heart, how many people could name offhand the present Secretary of State for Education? Of course, the last Chancellor of the Exchequer lasted only 38 days in the post before being ignominiously sacked. In the Treasury too, we have seen 4 Chancellors in just 4 months. The latest victim of this frenetic merry-go-round is former Home Secretary Suella Braverman, who, like Kwasi Kwarteng, is now out on her ear. The reason for her sacking is interesting. It was because she apparently was determined to slow down immigration to Britain. That at least is the story. It's anybody's guess how much truth there is in it. If it weren't for the fact that the consequences of all this are likely to be so dire for us all, I would be enjoying this dreadful shambles. But it just means that Britain is slowly circling around the plug hole before vanishing into the drains or sewers. The most likely outcome to rescue us from such a hideously incompetent bunch of fools would be a general election in which Labour would sweep to power with a massive majority. But this would, I fear, be a case where the cure is likely to be worse than the disease. I've been looking back over the records of past British political history and find that this accelerating change of pace is not merely my imagination. It has taken us only 4 months since July to see 4 different Chancellors of the Exchequer in the job. That is as many as we had between 1970 and 1983. In other words, for 13 years, and we only had 4 Chancellors of the Exchequer, and now that same number have come and gone in just 4 months. The result of it all is that we seem to live in a state of constant crisis and tension, with people being appointed as ministers and then leaving the job within a few days or a few weeks. Either this is all completely random and haphazard, and the country is going to hell on a fast horse, or it is part of a deliberate plan to create a feeling of a permanent emergency, which will take people's minds off something which the government is up to elsewhere. My feeling at the moment is that it is a cock-up rather than a conspiracy. I know that some people regard Liz Truss as a cunning agent of the World Economic Forum, but to me she just looks like the most spectacularly awful Prime Minister I can ever remember, who simply has no idea at all what to do next.